Good afternoon. A dad whose wife and daughter were murdered by their next-door neighbour has made a powerful speech to their killer at Nottingham Crown Court. Abu Bakr Drameh spent an hour telling Jamie Barrow about the impact of his arson attack at their flat in Clifton last November. Barrow's due to be sentenced shortly. Well, our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball has been in court. What did Mr Drameh say?
Well, Sarah, this was a really emotional victim personal statement given to a packed courtroom behind me. There were people sitting around us in tears as Abu Bakr Drameh looked straight at the dock, calling Jamie Barrow a coward who knew exactly what he was doing. And then he talked about the last time he saw his family alive here in Nottingham, kissing his sleeping daughters on the forehead as he left to go to the States for work. Then getting a phone call from his mother-in-law to tell him there'd been a fatal accident, and then having to spend his 40th birthday back here identifying his daughter's lifeless bodies. "I'm crushed," Mr Drameh said, "and you, Jamie Edwin Barrow, acted as judge and jury that night." He went on to say, though, "I have no hatred for you. It's your actions I hate." And throughout all this, Barrow was watching and listening intently and occasionally nodding in agreement.
And what did Mr Drameh say about his wife and daughters?
Well, he talked first of all about Fatoumata's generosity. He told Barrow, look, if you come knocking at the door asking for food or money, she would have given you what she could. She liked fish and chips, he said. She supported the England's women football team. And then he went on to talk about his typical British kids. "We enjoy the same things you enjoy. Fatima loved Teletubbies, waving at the Nottingham tram drivers. And I cried when I dropped her off at nursery," he said. "Nima, we heard, wasn't even walking yet. A year ago I was holding her. Now I've buried her," he said. "And that's all because of you." And then he went on to show Barrow the traditional colourful Gambian top he was wearing. "It still smells of smoke from the house," he said. "And one question remains. Why? I still don't know why. I want you to know that that veiled woman next door was perfect."
A very emotive day. Jeremy, thank you very much. And Barrow will get sentenced later and we'll bring you that at 6:30. First tonight, an arsonist who murdered a family of 3 who lived next door to him has been ordered to serve at least 44 years in jail. Fatoumata Haidara and her 2 young daughters were trapped in their flat when the fire ripped through their home at Clifton in Nottingham. Jamie Barrow poured petrol through their letterbox and set it alight after drinking heavily. The judge described Barrow's crimes as devastating, as our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball reports.
A hugely emotional end to a chilling trial. Jamie Barrow didn't react as he was led down to the cells, but in the packed public gallery there was clapping, then hugs, then a lot of tears. Tears for a young mother, Fatoumata Haidara, and her daughters, 3-year-old Fatima and 1-year-old Nima. Today their dad described them as typical British kids who like Teletubbies and the Nottingham tram. You'll remember that Barrow poured petrol through their letterbox, then set it alight after drinking heavily. It was the middle of the night. All 3 of them were overcome by thick smoke and they didn't stand a chance. Well, afterwards, Fatoumata's husband welcomed that 44-year minimum sentence. And I asked him about a powerful statement he made about Barrow in court this morning.
"Fatoumata and I lived our life by the motto of love for all, hatred for none. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I have no hatred against him. His actions, though, I hate, but not he himself as a human being. And like I said earlier, I wish this not on anyone else. If his 7-year-old son would hear, we will all hug him."
Barrow always admitted starting the fire, but he said it wasn't murder because he thought the family were away at the time. But today the judge said that was a complete lie. She said Barrow knew they were upstairs. It was well planned and they didn't stand a chance. What's more, she said, he would have heard the smoke alarm, he would have heard Fatoumata screaming, and he stood by watching and doing nothing. That's why it'll be 44 years before he's going to be considered for parole. And some of the family supporters still think that's not enough.
He can still walk out of prison when he's 70 odd. They don't get to walk. They don't get to live. They don't get to see the sunshine. They don't get to see their dad. Their dad doesn't get to see them grow up.
Never will.
He's evil.
Barrow's motive still isn't clear. The police say a thorough investigation didn't find any evidence that it was a racial or religious hate crime, and the trial heard that he might have been trying to get rehoused or upset about noise or rubbish dumped outside. In court today, Fatimata's husband said, "Why? I still don't know why." And he said to Barrow, "I want you to know that the veiled woman next door was perfect." Jeremy Ball, BBC's Midlands Today, Nottingham.